Like many of you, I take pretty rigorous courses at school with multiple AP and honors classes. And the workload that results from these courses, paired with extracurricular activities, makes balancing the two extremely difficult. Most nights I stay up late studying for upcoming tests or doing homework assignments I didn't get to earlier on in the day. And many times I find myself prioritizing my grades over my physical and mental health. And I found that as the semester went by, I got less and less sleep. So it turns out many of us don't take student sleep deprivation as seriously as we should be. And according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, on average, high school students get between 7 and 7.5 hours of sleep per night, which is much lower than the recommended 8 to 10. And while schools have been trying to combat this by shifting their school start times later and also managing homework loads, it's oftentimes up to the students to ensure that their physical and mental health is up to par. So after spending a few months consistently getting below the average of 7 hours of sleep per night, I decided to take action. And you can say that I kind of got tired of getting tired. So here I'm going to show you my journey of how I attempted to get more sleep and whether those methods that I used were effective or not. So the first method that I used was taking naps. And according to a 2013 Harvard Medical School research study, taking naps is actually an effective way of combating short-term sleep deprivation effects and also has benefits including improved memory as it allows memory to move from short-term memory to long-term memory. It also increases your physical and mental performance, increases your creativity and focus, and just like rejuvenates you from a long, tiring day. So naps are really an effective way to combat short-term sleep deprivation, and I use it when I'm studying for a test. So let's say I have a big test next day and I just read a bunch of information, and then I take a 20 to 30 minute nap, which is recommended to optimize your results. And then it definitely helps me retain all my information. So napping is great. The second way that I try to combat sleep deprivation was installing apps and increasing my productivity. So you think that your phone is like your distractor, but sometimes just by installing simple apps that block out social media, which is mainly the main reason why I'm not productive during the day, just by installing simple apps definitely helps you increase your productivity. So basically, my favorite app is called Forest. And what happens is that you set a certain amount of time that you choose to be productive. So let's say I set like 60 minutes. And in that 60 minutes, I can't go on social media. Like it blocks me from it. And if I'm successful, then a virtual tree grows on my phone. And it's really cute. It's like a little tree that pops up. And if you're not successful, then it dies. So, me being a sympathetic person that I am would always wanted to keep the tree alive. And the more time you set aside to be productive, the more trees you grow. And it turns into a forest. It's so cute. I highly recommend it. Another program that I really, really like is called the UNICEF TAP Project. And UNICEF, which is a children's charity organization, created this program to help students disconnect with their phone and also give back to their community. So basically, they set a timer for you, and for every 10 minutes that you are without your phone, it's motion censored, so you pick it up, then it automatically stops the time. So for every 10 minutes you are without your phone, UNICEF donates 1 day's worth of clean water to children who don't have access. It's a great way to be productive and also give back to the community. So the third method that I tried for myself to combat my sleep deprivation was doing homework in the morning. And a lot of people have like crazy sleep schedules, and so they'll come back from school, sleep, and then like wake up really early, like 1 a.m. to do their homework. And this can be explained through the teenage body clock. So basically, this didn't really work for me just because I'm not a morning person, and teenagers typically aren't morning people. So basically what happens during adolescence is that your circadian rhythm or your body clock shifts during your teenage years, in which melatonin, which is a sleep-inducing hormone, is produced around 1 or 2 hours later than younger children or adults. So in English, that means that teenagers are typically night owls, and you're not really mentally focused and ready to start the day until like 10 or 11 a.m. So it's normal if on the weekends you sleep a little bit late. That's completely normal, especially for teenagers. So for me, it's different for every person because your teenage body clock is different. But for me, doing homework in the morning wasn't really my thing. So I moved on, and the last thing that I tried to help combat my sleep deprivation was tracking my sleep. So I have always had this thing called a Fitbit, which is an activity tracker, and it also tracks your steps and your quality sleep time. So it's really thing, but you don't have to pull out money to buy a device like this. But basically what I like specifically about the Fitbit is that it tracks your quality sleep time. So let's say you fall asleep at like 12 a.m. and then you don't wake up until 7. That doesn't really necessarily mean that you get 7 hours of sleep. You also have to take into account the amount of time that it takes for you to fall asleep and also the interruptions that happen throughout the night. So I had a projection of like an example. So basically one day I tracked my sleep and I got 6.5 hours of sleep, but in reality the quality of sleep time that I got was only 6 hours. So like I said before, you really don't need to have a device that does this. You can simply track how long you slept, but you just need to be aware that many times, let's say from the 12 to 7 example, that's not a 7 hours of sleep, full hours of sleep. It's usually 20 to 30 minutes less. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, and I found that tracking my sleep was definitely an effective way for me to realize I should be prioritizing my physical and mental health over unnecessary things like watching YouTube videos. So sleep improves memory function, cleans toxins, and repairs muscles, along with many more things. And in fact, just losing 1 hour of sleep per week dramatically increases the suicide rates and the likeliness of drug abuse in teenagers, along with car crash rates and lower grades. It's dramatic. And it's really important for students to get the proper amount of sleep they need per night, since the effects of chronic sleep deprivation are actually irreversible. And while the workload students get might not change throughout the year, students can change their daily habits to make an effort to get more sleep. Decreasing one's caffeine consumption and digital screen exposure at night by installing a blue light filter on your phone can also help. And just by doing these simple things, like installing apps on your phone or keeping a sleep track log, it can definitely get you into the habit of prioritizing your health over unnecessary things. So maybe for once, it might be better to close that textbook and